Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my training from the past month. I'm going to try to do like a monthly training log where I go over my training from the past month, kind of just break it down for you guys, show you guys how it went, all that fun stuff, what we're going to be doing moving forward. So this is my January training log. Now, January isn't over. We still have technically the rest of this week, and then February starts the next week. I'm recording this segment on the 26th. But I started this block like the last week of December, right after Christmas. So I just wrapped up my last week. I'm on my new week of my new block. So I just wrapped up a 4-week block. So I figured let me go over that and then just kind of talk over that, what I'm gonna be doing for my next block. So post-meet, I took a week off from training just because it was the week of Christmas, and so I spent it focusing on time with family and just resting, knowing that I not really have any competitions coming up, so I can kind of take that week off and recover. Meet prep was definitely pretty hard, and so it was nice to have that week off, especially when it timed up with it being Christmas week. But after that, I wanted to get right back into training. A problem that I've had in the past is that I haven't carried my momentum post meet. A lot of times when I've had a meet, I've used it as a transition point in my life of, let me do a meet before I have this big transition. Like I had a meet, my previous meet was right before I had my son. The other meets were, the meet prior to that one was COVID shut that down. So I actually didn't even get to do that, but COVID kind of, put a damper in that. And one of them was like I graduated from college, so I was transitioning into my new job, stuff like that. So a lot of times when I've had meets, it's been right around a transitional period and then I've kind of taken a step back from training, which has really halted momentum. So I really wanted to not let that happen again and really keep that momentum going, because now I was the strongest I'd ever been and I want to keep that momentum going. So basically what I did is I'm just rerunning that first block that I did back in the summer of the shifting the curve program from the strength guys, except I'm modifying it a little bit because of the fact that at the time I was doing a 2x frequency program for squat, bench, and deadlift, but they had an additional third day that had like a close grip bench. So really it was like 3 days a week bench. But after the meet, I realized that I needed to go up to 4 days. So I decided to kind of combine the bench protocol from their 3x program with the 2x squat and deadlift program that I currently ran, because that worked really well. And so I combined the 3x bench off season with the 2x squat and deadlift off season, put those together. And then I also had added in, basically took that close grip day that was on the original day off season for the 2x frequency and added it to the program. So basically what my training looked like, and I can put this on the screen, was I had an SBD day on Monday and Friday, and then also basically just a bench day with accessories on Wednesday and Friday. So my day 3 and day 4. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. As of right now, I'm actually on my session that's on Saturday, which is at the clubhouse. We don't actually have a free weight barbell. We just have a Smith machine. And so I'm actually on my 4th day doing just a Smith machine bench press, which at first seems really weird, right? Like that is not a normal powerlifting program, but it's enough of I'm adding in a little bit of extra stimulus on top of the 3x program to give me a little bit of boost. And I've already seen really good progress from adding that in. I don't really recommend that to people. I'm more just doing it as a means of convenience, because right now Saturday is my 1 day off from coaching, assuming I don't have a meet to coach at. And so it's a lot of work for me to go to the gym on which is a 30-minute drive away on a Saturday, when I already have to watch Theo while my wife does kickboxing on the weekend. So she gets to, and because of the fact that she only gets to do that on the weekend, she gets to do that in the morning while I take care of Theo. And so if I were to go to the gym on Saturday after she got back, that would pretty much take up my entire Saturday, and it's my 1 day off. And so I really don't want to have to do that, at least right now. So I'm like, well, then the minimum effective dose I could do to increase my upper body bench stress would be adding in that session with just a Smith machine. So I've been doing that essentially as my quaternary day. It's my lowest priority. It's just extra volume. The Smith machine kind of feels like a feet up bench press. It's actually pretty effective. Like it isn't enough to be like a primary stress driver, but it's enough to keep me going from that Saturday back up to Monday to where I don't lose any gains. And then I also pair that with dips. I'll put the program up on the screen, but I pair that with dips. And so I think that between the Smith machine and the dips, it ends up being a decently effective session for my upper body that will help carry me from basically carry me from Friday to Monday instead of just not doing anything at all in that slot. So I've seen already some great results. My bench already took a huge spike this block, so I'm really, really happy with that. And the reason so that's why I have the 2 SBD days on Monday and Friday, so that I can train squat twice a week, but also deadlift twice a week within a 3-day split. And so that's basically the only way that ends up working out very well with my current situation. So that's why I do have 2 SBD days. Normally I'm not a huge fan of SBD days because I think it takes away from our ability to do accessories. But for right now, for me to get in the primary lift volume that I need, that's where I have to put them. And so I do a little bit of lower body accessories on my day 2 and 4, but mostly hitting a lot of upper body accessories because looking back, I felt like I just need to, I need to increase bench frequency to get progress going, as well as increase my strength on dips and just overall get more jacked in my upper body. So doing a lot more upper body accessories is what I'm focusing on. And squat and deadlift were progressing really nicely, so I just kind of reran the same thing that I did last summer. So that's kind of the culmination of the program that I put together. So I will mention that I did bring my camera to the gym to record content for you guys. However, on Wednesday, which was one of my training days, my day 2, it snowed. Snowed really, really bad to the point where my wife, who was a school teacher, she got snowed in, and it really wasn't safe to leave. So I didn't end up going to the gym on my day 2. I did that at our clubhouse at the apartment, and I felt a little weird about bringing the camera in there because there was other people in there, and it's not a place where normally people are going to bring a camera to record stuff, right? So I didn't bring my camera into the clubhouse. So I didn't get any footage of day 2, and I also didn't get any footage of day 4, which is I normally do at the clubhouse anyway because I don't do any big movements. It's a little bit of bench and then accessories. So yeah, I didn't get any footage, unfortunately, of day 2 or day 4, but I have day 1 and day 3, which are my 2 SBD days currently, and are my 2 big training days anyway. So I did get footage of the main meat and potatoes of the training right now. So I apologize for not getting any clips from day 2. So getting into day 1 of my program, I start off my day 1 and day 3 anytime squatting with these Copenhagen planks. This is what helps keep my adductor healthy. When I strain my adductor in meet prep, this is the exercise I use to rehab them. So as long as I keep these in the program, I notice my adductor stays healthy and everything feels good to go. So I always start off 2 sets of 10 on each side. So on today's docket is day 1 of week 4. I had a 3x10 at 70%, which is 325 for me. Week 1, start off with a 3x8 at 65%, and then week 2 progressed to 3x10 at 65. Week 3 was 67.5%, and then here week 4 is 70%. So just some easy volume right now. Just getting back into the swing of things. This session actually felt really good. Squats I've been feeling really good. My adductor hasn't been bothering me at all, which is really nice. This set felt, and as you'll see, it felt more like a 6.5 RPE. Felt very strong on the day. I was a little distracted today just because I was recording a lot of other content for some projects I've been working on, so was a little distracted today, but this 3x8 turned out really well. You'll see here that I have a pretty just straightforward squat, and my goal here is really just to continue to control it on the way down and drive up super hard. With high rep sets, it's super easy to just get out of the groove or be lazy, kind of sandbag and try to get through the sets, but I really focus on treating each rep of the set like a single, make sure I'm controlling each rep down and blasting my way up so that it helps transfer over as the weight gets progressively heavier. So I think it's really easy during high rep sets to be lazy with it, but I really focus on trying to keep the intention and focus really high during all these sets. Moving on to bench, I had a 4x12 at 215 or 67.5% today, and that was I've never actually done sets of 12 besides this program. It's definitely higher reps, but it's just kind of a very general phase of training for me. It's just a lot of high rep stuff, so not very specific, just getting in a lot of volume. And it's definitely really challenging doing 12 reps. You kind of just get fatigued from just the sheer amount of reps here. So 215 for 4x12. Once again, same thing with squat, really trying to focus on making sure that the pauses are good, that I'm tempoing the rep accurately as I would on a heavy single, and not letting myself just kind of rep it out. Also making sure that I lock out all the way so that I get that full tricep development. A lot of people, when they do rep bench, they might not lock out all the way, and so your triceps don't end up getting that full lockout, and so they actually get a little underdeveloped there. So really important that even during high rep sets that you
still complete everything to the highest standard possible, because that can really start to fall behind on high rep sets. And then the finish off day one was a 3x7 on deadlift at 70% as well. What was cool is that I put my deadlift max at 500 for this training block, which is it's like 30 pounds higher than I had ever used on training max. And I was able to handle all the weight really well. So that's just a good sign that I'm able to handle the volume really, really well. You'll see in these warm-ups here, I'm really practicing that slack pull of breaking the bar off the ground without actually pushing into it. Just to make sure I'm getting that done during the warm-up so that my reps are good. And yeah, so I'm really happy with how deadlifts have been going. Handled all the volume really well here. I am using straps just to save my hands a little bit. I don't want my hands to get beat up on, because I do hook grip on these high rep sets, so I do use straps, but I don't really have an issue when it comes to my competition deadlift, especially my 1RM. I was able to hold on to any max really well. So yeah, 3x70 here. I've gotten these SBD days used to be really brutal, and now I just handle them really well. I have that conditioning, that work capacity to the point where I can handle these really well, and my deadlift doesn't feel fatigued from squat when I go into it. I know it is, but I don't feel like the weight feels heavy or I'm tired. I just feel prepared and ready to go. So I've actually really come to grown to enjoy these SBD sessions. For whatever reason, it makes me almost feel like an athlete of I'm doing my sport in training, and I'm able to handle this volume, and it definitely makes meet day easier when you can handle all this volume and not feel winded. So yeah, I'm really happy with how deadlifts are going, and happy with just how this for day one ended. I felt like everything was a 6 to 7 RPE, so very happy. So getting into what would be the primary SBD session here on day 3. Basically everything here is at 75%. So starting off with a 3x8 here at 75% with 355 pounds. This is definitely a rep PR for me, I'm pretty sure, at 355. I've never really done this many sets of 8 with that. It's not a set of 8 PR, but never done 3x8 at 355. So definitely a rep PR for me there. This all moved very well. Actually, normally I feel really tired on this day 3. This is Friday night, so it's at the end of the week. I usually feel really tired during this session, but I actually felt really good. I put in the notes on my training log that I felt amazing this day. So this is my first set here, and I actually felt like this sets across were 6 to 6.5 RP. So really, really happy with how this day 3 ended. Normally I'm tired on this session, and the weight moves, but I don't feel as great, but I felt really strong on this day and really fresh. Going in the bench here, it was a 4x8 at 75%, which ended up being 245 pounds. I'm pretty sure this is a rep PR here for multiple sets of 8 as well. Not an 8 rep max, but definitely for 245, the most amount of volume I've done with 245. So really nice way to end the block here. Just lots of reps. My work program basically goes sets of 12, sets of 10, sets of 8, and then sets of 6 on the day 4. So just lots of volume here and really building up that general base of strength to start ramping up the intensity next block. So very, very happy with how this went. Really happy with my pauses here, happy with my ability to shoot up and produce a lot of force off the chest. This one actually felt really heavy on this day. This felt like a 7 to 8. So bench actually felt a little more tired on this day, which is not normal. Bench usually feels a little more fresh. But take that with a grain of salt. And then here, 3x5 at with 375 for my 75%. This is a volume tied PR, and this is normal. 375 is normally what I would do fresh for sets of 5 when I'm feeling really strong. And so to be able to do this after squats is just a really good sign that deadlift strength is very good right now. I'm really happy with my technique here. And yeah, so really ending the block on a high note. I feel coming off of the meet, I didn't really lose any momentum. I feel really strong right now, full steam ahead. I'm able to handle a lot of reps, a lot of weight, and just really happy with how the block has ended. So feeling very strong, very hopeful for the future.
So that is the recap of my last week of the block. I really only brought my nice camera in to record that last week, and once again I missed the day 3 there, so unfortunately, or day 2. So unfortunately I didn't get any footage there, but hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing that little bit of video. I'm going to try to record more of stuff in the gym of me actually talking to the camera and doing a lot of this more in the gym. I keep forgetting to do that just because I'm still getting used to vlogging and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so moving forward, I'm going to transition to the second block of that off-season program, except I won't be finishing that. So it's a 4-week block where you continue to ramp up in intensity, where basically it goes from ending at anywhere from 70 to 75% to ending at 70 to 80%. And so I'll get to the end of the loading phase, and then the last week of that block would be a taper on the front end of the week, and then doing AMRAPs on the back end of the week. But I'm actually starting something completely different on that week, and so you'll have to stay tuned to see what that is. So I'll do a recap for at the end of the next 3 weeks just to show you guys how that went. But yeah, I'll be starting something brand new. I'm excited to talk about it, but I'll save that for the next video. So stay tuned for that. I'll definitely be hitting some volume, some big volume for sure PRs on that week. I know this last week it ended where I'm like, well, I don't really track my sets of 8 and sets of 10 and sets of 12 as much. So I'm pretty sure these rep PRs, but it's hard to tell. Bench for sure was much better. So like, for example, the last time I ran this basic block was last summer, summer 2021, in like May-ish, I think that's when I started, and all my weights were 20 to 25 pounds heavier than when I ran it last May. So really good sign that everything progressed, and all the RPEs are essentially the same when I compare the two blocks. So that's a great way to see progress of running the same program and seeing, all right, we added 20 pounds, the RPEs are all the same, so we're making good progress. So really, really happy with that. And I'm excited to start the new thing. I was a little sad that I had to wait all the way until essentially it's the week of Valentine's Day to start, but it ends up timing out decently well where I do get to kind of more or less finish the next block minus the AMRAP. So I do get to push hard to get to some new rep PRs before transitioning into the new, we'll call it program that I'm going to be running. I'll just give a little allude to that. So hopefully you enjoy the video. I'll do a better job of getting actual footage inside the gym for the next video. I'll make sure to bring my camera in. I just been a little weird about bringing my camera because it's so cold, and I do some personal training right before I train, so it's not like I bring my camera in then I'm just leaving it around, and I'm a little superstitious about something happening to it, whether it be leaving it in the car and it getting cold, or bringing it in and it getting dinged or scratched or stolen. Even though my gym's a little small private gym and nothing has ever gotten stolen there ever, so I think I'm just in my head about that. So I'll definitely try to bring my camera and record more of that content for you guys for the next one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button for more content, and I'll talk to you guys next time.